Papaji. Everyone knows what a rose is. One doesn't have to give an elaborate description of the rose in order to appreciate it. The rose is valued for its fragrance and freshness. In the same way, everyone knows about Papaji, and what I am going to say about him is not anything new. Just as a rose never leaves its freshness, no matter how many times you look at it, similarly, you can read about Papaji umpteen times without losing interest. The truth about Arunachala and the truth of I Am had to reach and spread all over the world. This was the commandment given by the father Arunachala to the son, Ramana Maharshi. Arunachala bound the sun securely to his bosom from the very moment he arrived there on 1st September 1896. Bhagavan understood that the spiritual instruction given by Arunachala to him was to remain silent and not stir from his abode. So he remained there for 54 years till he left his body on 14th April 1950. When this was the case, how could he spread the message all over the world? The world came to him, and his devotees took up the mission of spreading the truth of I Am all over the world through their writings or through their physical presence. When Bhagavan dropped the body, 3 eminent devotees undertook this mission of sharing the truth with the entire world. With scintillating articles, Arthur Osborne spread the truth about self-realization through self-inquiry. And Papaji spread the teachings of Bhagavan through satsang. These devotees imparted not just theoretical knowledge, they enabled others to practically experience the teachings of Bhagavan. Countless devotees have experienced the truth of I Am, the fact that they are the truth, in the presence of Papaji and others. Man is groping in the dark and needs a link to reach God, who is light itself. That link is the Guru, who takes the form of a sage or a saint, and whose sole purpose is to help humanity taste divinity. God's messiahs have come in many forms, such as Jesus Christ, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and Bhagavan Ramana, to name a few. They in turn had other messengers so that man reaches God more easily and forges a stronger link. Jesus Christ had, among others, St. Peter and St. John. Likewise, Bhagavan had many devotees who helped disseminate the truth of I Am and establish the fact that Bhagavan is the son of Arunachala. The Katha Upanishad says, "He whom the self chooses, by him the self can be gained. To him, this Atman, this self, reveals its true nature." The self has to select a person and reveal itself in him. Devotees such as Ganapati Muni, Suri Nagama, and Arthur Osborne were all chosen ones from a very early age. One such person whom the self chose and revealed itself was H.W.L. Punja, also known as Papaji. He had a mystical experience at the age of 8. Here is what Papaji has to say about that experience. One evening, I was sitting in the company of my mother and some relatives. I suddenly experienced something that made me supremely happy and peaceful. My eyes closed and the body became immobile. I was aware of what was going on around me and could hear everything that was taking place. People around me made attempts to bring me back to my normal state. It was such an overwhelming experience that I remained in a state of bliss for 2 days. I was totally conscious of my surroundings, but was unable to communicate. There was total inward happiness. Papaji's mother realized the state of her son was and wanted to help him. She gave him a picture of Lord Krishna when he came out of that state of bliss. He fell in love with the picture of Lord Krishna at once. His mother encouraged him to worship Krishna, and soon he became a devotee. His devotion was so ardent that he had visions of Krishna. He would often find himself playing with Krishna. Whenever Papaji desired, Krishna appeared in the same form as in the picture. The people of the house were a witness to this playing, but were never able to see who he was playing with. At school, the picture of the Buddha held his fascination. It was a picture of a very emaciated Buddha after he had just attained self-realization, nirvana. Papaji made a detailed study of the life of the Buddha. And during his teens, he went on to have spiritual experiences because when the Atma chooses, it knows exactly what to do. He had visions of gods which made him ecstatic, yet all the while he yearned for the tranquility and peace that he had experienced when he was 8 years old. According to the practice then common in Hindu households, Papaji's parents got him married when he was 16. With marriage came the responsibility of taking care of his family. Urged by his father to start earning, Papaji joined the military academy to be trained as an officer. However, he was many a time distracted from his studies by visions of Lord Krishna, who charmed him to play with him and worship him. Papaji was not satisfied with this momentary happiness and wanted to be permanently one with God and always in bliss. This steady urge to be eternally with God became so compelling that he left his family with his father and went in search of someone who could show him the way to dwell with God permanently. He toured all over India, meeting sadhus and swamis and ashrams. Always his constant question was, "Have you seen God? Can you show me God?" The replies that he received hardly satisfied him. Feeling disheartened, he returned home, but the fire within him was still burning. He fed sadhus who came home and posed these burning questions to them. One day, a sadhu knocked on his door. The sadhu was received with respect by Papaji and fed well. When asked the usual question, the sadhu smilingly replied, "I can show you a swami who can answer your questions." Papaji immediately asked, "Where is he? What is his name?" And the sadhu answered, "His name is Ramana Maharshi, and he is in Arunachala, in an ashram called Ramana Ashramam." The sadhu gave him directions on how to reach the ashram. Papaji was elated that he was at last going to meet a swami who could show him the way to God. But at that time, Papaji was very poor. One day, while scanning the newspaper, he saw an advertisement for the post of a manager in a military canteen in Chennai. Papaji was the right person for the post. When he went for the interview, he was told, "You do not have to join immediately. We will pay you your travel expenses now. You can join after a month." Just see how when the self chooses, it makes way for everything.